Here. What's up, guys, gals? Happy Thursday. Wednesday. What? Why did I say Thursday? Wednesday. February 15th, 2023. We've got 10 games. 10 games on the docket tonight. To the final big slate, perhaps the final playable slate. Tomorrow's going to be 3-gamer before the All-Star break. So, get some dollars. I like the big slates for props. I do. DFS, historical nightmare, lots of news. But for props, a little bit more fun. How you guys been? I hope you guys been all right. We didn't do a stream yesterday, but good. Last night turned out all right. It was for DFS. I guess it was kind of annoying to kind of gauge that Celtics and Bucks situation. But Celtics, man, they got that dog in them, man. They took the Bucks overtime, and all of the value absolutely obliterated. So hopefully you guys were on that. What up to live chat? What up, Conscious? What up, Johnny? Boosted, Jake, Beast Bets, Moose. What up, Bag Up? What up, Conscious? I hope you guys are doing all right today. I think we're gonna get some work done here the next couple hours. We're gonna look for props. We're gonna go game by game here, dissect stuff for DFS as well, and hopefully come away with a sharp player pool for DFS, a sharp prop target list for the prop streets, and make a little moolah. So, as always, let me know if the music's too loud. We'll fix it, and we'll get jumped in. Let's screen share here. Powered by RunDFS.com. So let's just go. Let's just do it. We'll save plugs for later. We'll just do it. Here, what up, Keg? Shout out to the homie Keg. Keg, kill it, yo. Keg, there's only 30 people here now. There'll probably be like 300 in an hour. I'll shout you out again if you're still around. But you guys should be following Keg. Keg. When I'm going to sleep, that man is up grinding, just launching content to you guys on PrizePicks and prop betting, getting all the leans right away. So, like, I put out a tweet the other day. I asked people, hey, who's your favorite independent prop content creators? Keg was, like, the one people replied with the most, and they were like, and Josh. But he's not independent, so I don't know. They're kind of disqualified. But, yeah, you guys should be following Keg. What up, J. Cole? Jermaine, Cole, Young Simba. Man, this ain't even me, dog. 2 more days to the All-Star break. Yeah, man. All-Star break. So it's a break. Usually I get the week off, go do something. But it always coincides with my birthday. My birthday is on Sunday, which is the day of the All-Star game. But I got a match on Sunday, so I won't get to watch the All-Star game. I won't get to watch the Daytona 500. But yeah, I'm not doing as much this vacation as usual, but it's okay. Boosted. You gotta get your butt back on Fortnite, dog. Tonight, Friday, Saturday, bro. I'm telling you, I gotta do little workouts for the match, but it's gaming day, so I need you to find some time to get on there. And they added a central server, so you don't have to play on East Ping. You can get a little bit better ping coming to my house. You know what I'm saying? Need a break. Absolutely need a break. And baseball's back. The World Baseball Classics looking fun, looking juicy. The match, it's not streamed online, but it'll probably be online after a bit. The town that we're in, I don't know if it has internet. I don't know. I don't want to dog them. They might. But usually these little wrestling towns, I don't expect great Wi-Fi. Just hit you with that follow on Twitter. Yo, Jake, I appreciate that. All right, let's talk some basketball. Bulls at the Indiana Pacers. Game number 1 tonight. We got Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Buddy Hield, Aaron Naismith, Miles Turner. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Can you imagine the Bulls? I know they're without DeRozan here, but man, Pacers being favored is just kind of sticker shock. We got Caruso with a tag, Dragic with a tag, DeRozan, Javonte Green, Derek Jones with tags. Oh, I forgot. I always forget one screen every day. I always forget one screen. Today it just happens to be the news for the depth chart. So we want to see what the tags on the Dragic and Caruso are and how bad they are. I think Caruso has been missing some time, so get to the bottom of that. That could open up a lot more minutes for Kobe White, DeSumo, Dragic, especially with DeRozan down. So Chicago, Caruso, left midfoot soreness is expected to be a game-time decision against Indiana. Dragic, left knee soreness has been downgraded to questionable, so midday downgrade to Q. So if the news settled the right way or a certain way, DeSumo and Kobe White could really get some big minutes tonight on top of Zach LaVine as it stands already. So I do think this is going to be a fun game to attack, especially for DFS. So let's do our due diligence with this one. Let's go pop open some usage rates. I assume LaVine and Vucevic are going to look really, really good today. Indiana, or no, Chicago. You're gaming tonight, boosted bet. I pulled check back out yesterday. We got this, bro. Dude, let's get a gaming night going, bro. Let's get a gaming night, bro. I just got a shipment of bangs. No chicks tonight, bro. I just gotta dance. Let's put LaVine on the court. Let's put Vucevic. Boosted. I'd probably get off around, I don't know. You tell me what time's good for you. I get off at lock, but I usually am not off for like another hour doing late swaps and crap. What up, Sean? What up, White Nose? What up, Timmy? Io and Drummond's the best place from Chicago. Yeah, Drummond might be fun little pocket play. Dude, 1.4 fantasy point per minute for Vucevic without DeRozan. 345 minutes of sample size. That's intriguing. So let's go pop open to the old PrizePicks machine. What can we get on Vooch? Vooch is at... I just want fantasy points if we can get some solid. It's probably already 45.5. Dang. They know. Yeah, I'm at 47. So that's not a big enough gap. You mentioned Drummond. So I know Drummond has gone nuclear on a couple of slates. He had 21 minutes against the Spurs, and that game was pretty lopsided. Outside of that, 14 or less is the expectation. I do think per minute he's fruitful and viable, but the Bulls are actually like underdogs here, so it seems ambitious to give him a larger than usual minute projection. We're just expecting him to be in a solid matchup. So I get, like, if you get that feeling in your bad knee for Drummond to pay off 3,400, I definitely don't disagree with it. Like, I'm getting 20 plus fantasy points, about 20, but it is a 10 game slate, so I don't want to get too cute where I don't have to get cute. So I may not play Drummond, but I understand why you want to play Drummond. But I don't know that my projection for minutes on Drummond is going to be anything that I have to go out of the way and get, you know? I'm doing a Star Blast bang. Let's go. Dude, I ordered my Pipeline Punch. 90% of the time I order this, they substitute with some crap that I don't want. They actually had it today. I'm happy. I got Vooch and Halliburton. Is Miles Turner okay. Yeah, let's get to the Miles Turner news. I think we're gonna find some props in this game, though. I think this would be... I've been game stacking in my prop slips. Here, I'll show you an example. Oh, this is kind of a bad example. Well, kind of. I've been heavily correlating in my picks. So yesterday we went Booker over 9.5, or Paul over 9.5 assists. My man cleared this in the first quarter, by the way. It was stupid. Correlated that with Booker over PRA because, he scores off of assists there. And then I went Robert Williams under because he wasn't starting. And then I went Derek White over 3-pointers made. But the funny thing about that is he didn't clear that until overtime, so I kind of ran well there. And then on the night before, we basically same game parlayed Rozier threes with LaMelo assists and Trae Young assists with Capella points because of the points in the paint matchup. And then, of course, I had to grab something from another game. And Michael Porter over points because Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon were out. We won $1,000 off of that one, by the way. That was pretty good. So I think I want to attack this game with like a same game parlay style prop sheet. So let's get the info on Miles Turner. Miles Turner questionable with lower back soreness. So in the last game when he was out, Daniel Tice started for him, and then we also saw the I played for this team Jordan Nwora surge 17 minutes. And then Halliburton went off, right? So I guess the Miles Turner news is pretty big on how we make actionable stances. Do we even have props up for this game? Let's see. My computer's going so slow. We do. All right. Hallie, what we got? 2.5 threes. 2.5 free throws. 42.5 fantasy. That's interesting. And 9.5 assists. So usually with Halliburton, assists is like where I want to be. 9.5 is low enough. Before I wrote up Halliburton, let me look at Levine's props real quick and reference that usage. 28.9% usage. So we expect Levine to lead the team in shots. Him or Vooch. And Levine's at a 27.5 point prop. 4 assists, 2.5 threes. The threes is interesting. Levine leads the entire team in 3-point attempts per game at 7.4. Maybe we get a couple more with his shot volume going up with DeRozan down. So that's intriguing. So let's go look at a couple of Levine lines from the market. So 27.5 is the line in the market. It's kind of a coin flippy, but most spots are on the over, and we've seen that line push to 28.5 in some spots. So if you are on Levine, I guess get it while you can because it's likely going to move. But I hate betting numbers like that. I like to isolate smaller stuff, but there's really not smaller stuff to feel great about, huh? 6 free throws. Yo, Keg, this is on you. I saw you tweet his free throw prop. I guess let's look back at the market on 3-point attempts. 44 days to opening day, yes sir. Shout, we got World Baseball Classic though. We're good. Black coffee over Bang. I can't do black coffee, man. I drink white girl coffee. 2.5. It's actually the steam's on the under at 2.5. Dude, guys, I need some props from the Bulls here, but I don't know what to take. No Jones for the Bulls if it makes you feel better about Drummond. Is that, yeah, I guess let's go look at the Bulls rotation here. Jones usually plays alongside Drummond, right? I think Drummond is literally Vucevic's direct backup. So I don't think anyone else being out is a benefit for Drummond. Because every minute that Drummond has played is directly opposite Vucevic. Vucevic prop is half his usage. Yeah, you're right, Steve. I sweated that Vuce prop. It is actually incredible. And I don't know how many other players in the league could say this. I guess there are some guards that don't get to the foul line as much as you would think. But for Vucevic being a center that averages like 15 plus shot attempts a game, he doesn't get fouled. Like, it's incredible. So a lot of his stuff are threes and long, jumpers and stuff like that. But you would think a center would get a couple more fouls. If I don't know, man. I guess if Tyson, I guess it doesn't matter. If Turner's, and we know Turner is a guy that go for a lot of blocks, and sometimes those blocks turn into fouls. Daniel Tice, more traditional, but maybe that's a good thing for him. So, I'm with you. Just betting on Vucevic to take 18 to 20 shots, one of them's got to be a foul, right? So get him at half a free throw. I'm with you on that. I'll put that as a looser lean, though. Like, that's not going to be a core as we expand. Let's go prop leans, and then let's go prop, I don't know, more deeper leans. How about that? And we'll go Vucevic over half a free throw, and then I'll put PrizePicks in parentheses, because now we're shopping boards at multiple different sites, right? So the 21.5 points for Vuce is interesting as well. We're getting, it's fair that to assume that he could be close to LaVine in shot volume with a 25% usage rate, and that per minute production is just insane. What's the market on him? Nicola. Man, I guess I got to the market too late on LaVine. I think it's gonna go up, but I don't want to bet that number on LaVine. Boots is at 21, and a lot of books have moved to 22. And the spots where it hasn't, it's like heavily steamed over 21.5, like minus 140 on DraftKings right now. So I think this is a good play, but I think it's going to move. So if we want action on this, we probably need to get it faster, right? So we'll put that under leans, I guess. Kilo Vucevic over 21.5 points. We'll put PrizePicks in parentheses, but I also expect that to be 22.5, probably within an hour or two, if not sooner. What up, Miguel? What Vucevic prop would you lean towards? I want to take his free throws, but I'm nervous because Herder cost me 2K last night. Yeah, that's tough, but we're supposed to hit free throws. For Vuce, it's more so how little he gets to the line. I make my coffee strong and dark, real dark. Yeah, I usually add a bunch of sugar and creamer. Yeah, I didn't drink my first cup of coffee till I was 27 years old. And it was Starbucks, so that's how I got hooked. All right, so now that we got the Bulls sorted, kinda, let's go pull up the Pacers here and figure out how we want to run this back. Halliburton's my absolute dude. So usually with Hallie, I want to target assists because he has such an insane assist rate. I believe he still leads the league in potential assists per game. I do want to see how it correlates with Turner off and him on. But Tice can convert. That's a big he can work with. It's better than like some of the smaller bigs. Yeah, he's staying at a 45% assist rate. So that's a pretty nutty number to ever get single digits on. What I mean is like less than 10 assists. So that's probably going to be one that stands out here. Is his assists at 9.5. Probably going to lean that pretty confidently on the over. Let's see what the market's saying. Oh, I put Vooch. I'm dumb. Halliburton. Dude, there's steam on the under. See, this happened to me the other night. I don't understand, how this guy has such a high assist rate. And this happened, I guess, with Jordan Poole. And we saw Jordan Poole flake one game, but then, and then his line was at 5.5. So the steam's on the under. So I guess what I would say, if you're with me on liking the over for double-digit assists for Halliburton, we could wait, and this line might move to 9, and then we just have a better value. But I always get nervous when that happens. Like, what does the market know that I don't know? But What does the props projection have Halliburton at? How about 9.5? So I have him slightly over, but it's slightly over 9.55. So we'll go deeper leans here. We'll go Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists. We'll put market steaming under. Might drop to 9. How about that? Boom. Here, what up, Humboldt? What up, KJ? 16% to like. What are we doing? Yeah, I think we might do numbers today. We started early. We're getting work done. It's the last big slate from the All-Star break. 350 is the number to watch for. That's the highest recorded concurrent of the season, 350. So we break 350, then we party. Might give away a pass or something. All right. If Turner's down, who else takes the benefit from Turner's absence, though? Buddy Hield goes to a 20.6% usage rate. Mathurin off the bench. I did take Mathurin real points off the bench the other night. But on a big slate, I don't know if I want to sweat bench scoring. He's not even on the board. And then lastly, before we move on, we spent a lot of time on this game, but I think this is going to be a fun game for DFS. Do we want any action on a Kobe White or a Dosunmu or somebody like that? And do we even have opportunities for that? So Dosunmu's at 10.5 points. Kobe White's a 3-point chucker, man. Maybe we open up Kobe's 3-point prop, but we only have him on a free throw right now. So maybe when news becomes more definitive, we'll have that information. I think Dosunmu's fantasy score is intriguing, 21.5. I have him at 29, so I do get an 8-point gap there. So let me jot that down then. We'll go leans. I think that's a stronger lean just because it looks like a lot of minutes are going his way in a fast-paced matchup. So we'll go over 21.5 FPS, and we'll go PrizePicks on that. You guys cool with that? Dosunmu fantasy. 21.5. Yep. I like how big the gap is between that projection and mine. And then I would say wait for Kobe White. I'm thinking threes on Kobe. We just mentioned, we were talking about Levine threes. But Kobe White, I think, is a guy that has a shot at, 8+ threes if he got him to 30 minutes. Saw him 9 and 22 against Atlanta. Has he played against Indy? 17 minutes to 2 games against Indy. 4 for 13. All right. 10,000. Yeah, I think 10,000. Yeah, I think we might get 10,000 before baseball. We have been crushing subs lately. I wish I had, Keck, I wish I had your grind. I don't. I'm trying to make videos and stuff. You're a beast, dude. You're a beast. I just rather hit the go live button. Turner out. Now, Turner's questionable, but keep in mind he did miss last game. I guess I have a tag on Tice, too, so we should see what that's about. Because if they're both out, questionable with a right thumb sprain is Tice, and Turner's questionable with back soreness. So Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, guys that might benefit. I want to say Isaiah Jackson's a little bit more foul prone. So maybe the Vooch free throws. 3 fouls, 26. 3 fouls, 18. Yeah, a little bit more. If Caruso's in, do you still like him with dual eligibility? Do I like the thought of playing Caruso? I think he's viable. If he's in, I become less confident in any of those guys. I think Dosunmu's still in for a good shot at his fantasy props. And Caruso's been kind of like in bubble wrap the last couple weeks. But I think because DeRozan's down, if they go with the 3 guard set, I still think Caruso would be viable. But no warmer fuzzies from this far out. Matter of fact, I have Kobe White twice. And I have Caruso already baked in for 26 minutes. So as cheap as he is on DraftKings, it's going to be 20 plus. But like I always say, 10 game slates for DFS, you have to really sell out for ceiling. So don't settle for 20 fantasy points from 3K, because the way these slates work is you're going to need just monster returns points per dollar, where a 20 fantasy point night from a 3K guy really doesn't matter. You're probably going to need like 10x from your value. So it wouldn't, on a smaller slate, maybe like a slate like last night pre-flop, but tonight it wouldn't become a priority for me, unless we were able to move his projection closer to 30, because I don't think Caruso's been a point per minute in this split, or just been a point per minute. I do think his defensive peripherals, maybe on FanDuel, give him a stronger floor, and Dosunmu kind of the same thing. But Caruso this season, I'll just do Caruso with no DeRozan. What's his per minute? Maybe his per minute will surprise me. Caruso's at a 0.7 or no, 0.8. That's better than I thought it was, but maybe we dilute it a little bit if he ends up starting with Levine and DeRozan. 0.7 plus from value plays. I'll take that. I think it's the minutes I'm more so. Man, it goes to 0.9. Yeah, that would be really good. So if he was in the starting lineup and we thought that 30 minutes was, because 26 and 0.9 is still close to 20. I want to move that needle to 30, and the check boxes are there. Fast-paced matchup, decent implied scoring. They're 113 and a half, something like that. So maybe no warm and fuzzies. What up, Travis? Hope you're doing all right. All right, let's move on to the next game. I spent a lot of time on that game, but that was a game that I think is going to shape a lot of our lineups and prop slips tonight. So it was worth doing a little bit of due diligence. And this game's going to be pretty doggone juicy itself. The Charlotte Hornets hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Project starting five for the Spurs: Malachi Branham, Keita Bates-Diop, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Zach Collins, taking on LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Mark Williams. We got 243.5 total, 7-point spread in favor of the Charlotte Hornets. Spurs still have a little bit of a laundry list for their tags, but the only important pieces out: Trey Jones. Vassell has just been out for a while, so we don't have to, react too strongly to that. I guess Isaiah Roby could represent some garbage minutes, but we kind of know what we're going to get here. Zach Collins per minute looks pretty nice against the Hornets. Porous front court. I mean, this has just been, even with Mark Williams in the mix, we saw a big game from Clint Capella last outing in a game between the Hawks and Hornets that just had no defense. And the Hornets, with their 115.8 defensive rating, they've met their bad defensive match, because the Spurs are like one of the only teams in the league with a worse defensive rating other than the Rockets and Pistons. So 120 points per 100 possessions, a minus 10.1 net rating. There is a chance that the Hornets blow out the Spurs, but I think the Spurs are scrappy enough with this lineup, and the Hornets defense is bad enough with this lineup that we can get behind it. So I do think the Hornets look really nice for DFS. LaMelo Ball, and one of the reasons we've been in on DeMelo, Rozier, Hayward is the minutes have been really, really good. Mikhailiuk, I think, is active now, but they've been running like an 8-9 man rotation when it comes to beefy minutes, and LaMelo Ball has a real shot at 38 plus minutes, 37 plus minutes in a competitive ball game. 41 against Atlanta, 35, 38, 36. So as long as he stays out of foul trouble and the rookie mistakes that we've seen him struggle with the last year, this is a great spot for him, and he absolutely has a realistic potential to be a top scorer on this slate, or at least be optimal. I have him for the 5th most raw fantasy points from this far out. That's really good. So I'm gonna like LaMelo a lot, and what I like from LaMelo usually is grabbing his assist. So let's go pull up Charlotte, and it's at 9.5. So whenever I get LaMelo, Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Paul, James, when I get those guys at single-digit assists, I'm a sucker. And then you tell me LaMelo is implied for like the highest, or they got to be the highest implied total on the slate, right? Not so much total, but the team total has to be the highest. So if you're going to tell me the Hornets score the most points on the slate, I think LaMelo Ball assists is going to be something I'm pretty intrigued with. So one thing we did see a lot in the Atlanta game was there was a lot of Gordon Hayward running the offense. So that could be something to watch for, maybe even something to take advantage of for props. But LaMelo is a monster. So let's take off Oubre. Let's put Hayward on just to kind of offset his damage here. And we'll do 2 splits. We'll go a full season sample size, and then we'll go from January. So in the grand scheme of the full season with those 3 on the court, LaMelo has a 33.8% assist rate, which is really, really good. It's not 40% like Hallie, but it's good. And then isolate since the beginning of January, 31. So 30+% assist rate. So if you're gonna have a 30+% assist rate when your team is implied for the most fantasy points on the slate, and 9.5 assists, the gut says yeah. But what does the market say? LaMelo. There's a little bit of steam on the over. So market agrees. In some spots, -131. So LaMelo's assists might push the double digits. So I'm going to put that as one of the front end props. And if you like it, you might want to get some action on it now because there's a good chance it goes up. Let's see. Does any other of our prop sites offer LaMelo here? 9.5. So everyone's at 9.5. It looks like. What about No House? Does No House even have it up yet? Sometimes their stuff doesn't come up till late. Oh, they have a 9. So everyone has about 9.5 assists right now, and the market's moving. So we might get some action on that sooner than later. The other thing I've been doing is Rozier 3-point. But the Spurs are one of those teams that are so bad at defense that teams just score on them in the paint. I think the Spurs give up the most points in the paint in the league. So maybe this is a sneaky Mark Williams spot. Or anyone else that just... I guess LaMelo can still drive to the rack even though he'll pull up 13 times. Yeah, Spurs give up the most points in the paint in the league. Charlotte's getting a little bit better. So... does PJ and Mark Williams stand to benefit from a path of less resistance, we'll say. Terry Rozier actually leads the team in points in the paint. Who'd have thought? And then Mark Williams, 5.6 points in the paint per game. But I will say, that's based on a season-long standpoint. So Mark Williams might be the guy. Obviously, we're going to play him liberally in DFS. Not only 7 attempts. Rozier? Points? What are y'all thinking? This is another game I want a lot of exposure to. I think the Spurs are going to be harder to predict because of their rotation, but I'm in on 2.5 blocks and steals from Mark Williams. That's incredible. 30.5 fantasy points from Mark Williams. He did explode late in that Atlanta game, but I have him for 38. So I would be on the over. So I would put that in the deeper leans. Mark Williams over 30.5 fantasy. That's a PrizePicks. And then we'll go all prop sites. But market might move. Game stack for sure, Andrew. Zach Collins versus a rookie. I think everyone in this game looks good. It'd be just like Atlanta for me. Except I don't trust the Spurs offense as much as I would trust like the Hawks offense. Like the Hawks were down like 17 with 5 minutes left in that game. And that's how, if the Spurs are down 17 with 5 minutes left, I don't expect to fight back like that. What's up, Crispy? How are you? So, Rozier points, though. Usually I target Terry Rozier threes. But the fact that he leads the team in points in the paint, it would still correlate with LaMelo assists. He's at, what's his point prop? He's still at 2.5 threes. 22.5 points. What do you guys think? Would you rather take points or threes? I guess it's fair to like grab a shot at both, but I do like that half of his points have a strong floor because of the matchup. 23.5 is the market. So Rozier's at 20. So that's probably gonna move pretty soon, if it hasn't already. Yeah, the market flush went to 23.5. So I'll refresh to see if PrizePicks is adjusted, but there's value at 22.5 for sure. So if you guys are lurking, man, these are numbers that we're on that are not going to stay here. 22.5. So that's going to move like perhaps within the next 10 minutes if they're slow in the draw. So things that we think are going to move right now. We think Halliburton's assist could go down, and I think Vucevic's points is got steam on the over. So we're gonna go Terry Rozier over 21.5 points. We'll move to 22.5 soon. And it's a good matchup, and it correlates with the LaMelo assist. So we'll take assists for LaMelo and Rozier 21.5 points where we can get it. I wouldn't run from 22.5 from Rozier, right? He's averaging 22. It's an above average matchup, but 21.5 is a better number. Sometimes every hook matters, you know. What up, Brooklyn? Hope you're doing all right. How many players from this game would you get to if stacking? I think I could cap Hornets at 3 and in a lineup. The entire starting 5 is in the player pool without a doubt. PJ maybe falls a lot less on FanDuel, but like I said, Gordon Hayward was running the offense throughout stretches of that last game. We saw 8 assists out of him, and that's something to keep an eye on. They clearly had schemes set up for him, and maybe that's something that we'll see more of going forward. So what's Gordon Hayward's fantasy points? Fear the Feathers. Thank you for the sub. I hope you're doing fantastic. Points and assists on Gordon Hayward. What do y'all think? 19.5. We actually get value. Like, I won't say value, but 15.5 plus 4.5 is 20, right? So you get a hook discount if you combine them. I don't know if that's. Or no, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm stupid. I don't see assists. They don't have assists. What would be the fair market value on Hayward assist? Because if they add that, based on that, it might come at 4.5 to 3.5. So Hayward, 3.5 and 4.5. So 3.5 got smacked to the over. So maybe they'll drop it back at 4.5. So that's fair. I kind of like the idea of his points plus assist though. We'll go looser on that though. 19.5 points and assists for Gordon Hayward. We have a really long list so far. Usually like this is the size of a whole slate. We're literally 1.5 games in. Threes. Rozier threes. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind. Usually Terry Rozier threes is the way I go. So 2.5 is the line I've been sweating all year, and usually gets there. But this match being so pure in the paint, Spurs get with the most points in the paint, and Rozier leads this unit in scoring in the paint. He still chucks three. As a matter of fact, he might be second on the team in 3-point attempts. I'm sure he is. Yeah, but he also like averages almost 9 points in the paint per game, which is the most. So. Like, I don't mind taking the floor there because it would still correlate, right? 3 threes is going to give him 9 points. So I don't mind it, but I'm kind of leaning to the points. And while it's at 21.5, I'll take it, you know? Everyone on the Hornets starting lineup is in the player pool. Mark Williams is going to be a pretty aggressive click for me. Let's see. All right. Sorry, my phone always blows up this time of day. And then the Spurs, how do we make some sense of the Spurs here? A little revenge game for Devontae going to Charlotte. Been getting a little bit of opportunity off the bench. Did start that one game against Detroit, but even off the bench the last 2 games, the shot volume while he's on the court is up there, and they're mostly threes. So for DFS at 4K, I'd probably take some chances here because I could see some smaller units just running and gunning. So I don't mind that. But I think the predictive value on the Spurs with the volatility that they present, these guys are tier 3s where I can get to some of these Hornets at a tier 3 level. And LaMelo Ball is, at the tippy top. And Mark Williams is probably high tier 2 as well. But the Spurs aren't as predictive. And usually those volatile teams, I don't get to a bunch for props because you don't have to take as many risks in props. So this looks like a DFS attack spot for me. Keldon Johnson's getting really cheap, like dangerously cheap for a guy that leads the team in usage. But maybe it's shaken out a little bit differently with a little new look offense. But we'll get to it. God dang, bro. We've burned 40 minutes on 2 games. Let's go since the beginning of February. Definitely got a speed round here. But I think those were 2 important games. So I'm not 26% usage. So the usage has diluted a little bit. But let's take off Pirtle. And I guess Trey Jones. Rozier just got bumped. I knew it was happening. Is that bump everywhere? Let's see. Can we get Rozier 23? Yo, Underdog comes at 23 already. So hopefully anyone that was lurking for the 21, there was a lot of strong value there. It'd be like that. I don't hate 22, but 21 was obviously an opportunity. For projections, I think Keldon Johnson baits D up at 4,300, and then I'll take some Devontae on DraftKings as well. And those will be the 3 guys I probably get the most of, and a little sprinkle of Branham, and then some Zach Collins, right? And these guys are less confident than the Hornets, but that's a game stack for sure. All right, let's see if we can speed up a little bit, but we still got time. That's why we started at 3. Knicks at the Hawks. Projects 25 for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle. Break down the walls of Jericho. Jericho Sims. Did you guys see the dunk contest names? Holy crap. It's rough, bro. It's rough. Up against Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, Jericho Sims, by the way, in the dunk contest. That's why I brought it up. 233.5 total. 3-point spread in favor of the Hawks. So, Hawks are another team I like to attack, so maybe we won't slow down as much. But Brunson was the one that I was pretty privy to. He has been really on a tear since the narrative is since the All-Star reserves got announced. But look at this, man. 40 points, 38 points, 30 points, 25 points. So 20-plus real points as far as the eye can see, really, with, double-digit shot attempts, hitting threes, probably over efficient from 3 right now, and then a couple of these games getting to the free throw line as many as 15 times. So just looking really good. So at 8,600 for DFS, I'm gonna love that a lot. Love it on FanDuel as well. Usually him and Randall, they're 2 guys I'll connect the dots with and anchor, and I don't really get to a bunch else here for the Knicks. And then I always have that twinkle in my eye for Isaiah Hartenstein at 4,200, and we've been kind of monitoring whether or not Hartenstein's closing out for the Knicks, because there was many games consecutively where he was, but a lot of those games were like where they were negative game script playing from behind. Against the Knicks, Sims was garbage time. Hartenstein was still part of the closing unit, so it does look like Hartenstein is like the hot tag at the end of the tag match, right? Hartenstein closes out. So we continue to say, hey, if they offer Sims second half props on PrizePicks or Hartenstein, I doubt they'll offer Hartenstein, but Sims is getting way more first half run than second half. So his unders for second halves, if and when offered, if they are neutral to the game projection or linear to the game projection, we'd probably take the under, because that is a pretty consistent usage plan or minute plan for Hartenstein and Sims. Hartenstein is the closer. With that said, Brunson, what are we doing? Is Sharp in it? Saw that clip of him going for that block. No, one of the guys' his name is McClung. Like, I think it's a G League guy. I'll get the names for you. It's bad. It's like Kenyon Martin, Jericho Sims, some guy from the G League name. Let's see if I can find it. Man, we got the sniffles today. Oh, it's Trey Murphy III, Kenyon Martin, Mac McClung from the Sixers G League team, and Jericho Sims. I mean, there's no star power there. Hopefully they put on a show. But it's sad, man. Dunk contest was like my favorite thing for years. But yeah, hopefully they put on a show and it's fun to watch. But it's more fun when it's like names, you know. 26.5 points for Jalen Brunson, 5.5 assists. The PR is kind of intriguing. Let's see what the prop sheet spit out for Brunson. So we got him at 46 fantasy points, 34.5 PR. So the PR is actually a little on the under, but I never take unders against the Hawks. What's the fantasy? The fantasy score, we have a little lean on the over on the fantasy. So maybe fantasy is the lean here against a porous Hawks defense. Maybe. So I put that. We'll go lean. We'll go lean. We'll go Jalen Brunson over FPS. I believe we said the number was 40, right? I don't know why I undid New York, by the way. 40.5. That's a lean, but that's probably something we don't need to sweat. We want some really targetable stuff. And then Julius Randle is the other guy that I tend to get to a lot from the Knicks. And two, I say strength of schedule, we'll say. Brooklyn, I think they're tougher interior now with that new look defense. And that game just was kind of lopsided. Utah, Walker Kessler, he put up 31 points, whatever. Philly's a tougher interior defense. He still got the 30 points. Free throws, not so much. But he's chucking threes. Julius Randle taking double-digit threes in 3 of his last 4 games. So Randle and Brunson are the 2 targets for me pre-flop. Those are the guys, obviously, for DFS. I just want to see if there's something we can wedge in from props that makes a lot of sense here. 46.5 fantasy points. Maybe we take fantasy points from a big over a guard here just because of the higher floor peripherals, but I think these are efficient lines is what we'll say, right? So I like it for DFS quite a bit. On the Hawks side, Trae Young, DeJounte. The Knicks are one of the stronger teams at defending points in the paint. So maybe this is a spot where we don't get too overzealous with Capella points because all of Capella's points are dunks. What would his line be? Probably 9.5 or 10.5. And the Trae Young assists. I don't mind that if we can get that at single digits. Trae Young is at 10.5 assists, so we can't. Capella's at 12.5 points. So that's a little bit high. He's averaging less than 12.5 on the season, and the matchup is horrendous. Maybe it's a first half under, because I don't know how Hartenstein gets down, but Jericho Sims is a good archetype to defend that. But we go to points in the paint allowed. The Knicks allow the fewest points in the paint in basketball. So this line's already above his season average, Capella that is. Maybe that's something we take the under on. What's the market saying? McClung can jump out of the gym for his size. No, I think there's a lot of people in the G League. Heck, there's YouTubers that can dunk. You know what I'm saying? It's not a knock on them. It's just a knock on the lack of name value. Like, if you were in a coma 3 years ago, like, you're dreaming of like a Zion Williamson dunk contest against Aaron Gordon and LaVine. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see some power. But I guess maybe Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, that's revisionist history. Were we that excited for those two before that? Maybe not. So maybe we'll make some stars out of these guys. Capella, Market. All right. So yeah, the steam on the 12.5 has brought it to 11.5 in a lot of spots. So look at old Gun finding lines that are about to move. So if you like Capella's under at 12.5, and I think the math adds up, that 12.5 line is probably going to be 11.5 pretty soon. So we'll add that to the list. Clint Capella under 12.5 points. And yeah. What about his first half? Maybe first half, since it's more of the Jericho Sims fantasy. I say maybe. No warm and fuzzies. KJ Martin, can Sky. Yeah, I mean, everybody in the league. Like, I'm not one of those guys that's going to dog the greatest athletes on the planet. I'm certainly not dogging that. I'm dogging, like, the lack of star power. Like, I want to see some names dancing, you know what I mean? But, hopefully they said. Can we all agree last year sucked? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's what it is that's got us sour. Maybe the judges are the reason why people aren't in it. They're the Aaron Gordon Levine thing. John Collins questionable, right? All right, let's get to the bottom of that, and then we'll matriculate on. It's another game I do like for DFS, more so on the Knicks side with Brunson and Randall. Collins left hip flexor. Collins was questioned for Monday's game against Charlotte being rolled out. Sadiq Bey filling in. So we'll see if that happens again here. If that does happen, then I like Randall quite a bit too. Even more so. And remember, with this being like the last night before the All-Star break for a lot of teams, you know, some of these Q guys that could benefit from a extra day off might be closer out just because of the scheduling opportunity. Pistons at the Celtics. Project starting 5 for the Pistons. Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren taking on Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams, the Time Lord. 227.5 total, 12.5 points right in favor of the Boston Celtics. Celtics rested most people yesterday. Went to overtime yesterday. After the game, there was a story that said that Derek White had stayed behind for a medical reason. And there was also let me see what it was. There was also like a weird quote about Robert Williams. Wait, Robert Williams. Okay, Derek White's probable. Okay, cool. Al Horford not an injury report. Mike Muscala's out. Robert Williams questionable. So the Robert Williams thing. Yesterday he played like 15 minutes, and this was from a beat writer named Jay King. It says Joe Mazzulla on why Robert Williams only played 13 minutes. Quote, no reason. Was it matchup related? No. He never comes off the bench. That's not true. Not since he got off the minutes restriction. Yes. So what was the purpose of the change? Just felt like making it. Coaches, man. Coaches. So if Robert Williams is questionable and not in the starting lineup, who knows what's going on with that? I will say, as someone who took his under, I'm happy he only got 15 minutes because he had me scared for a minute. But just, we should all be aware of that. Robert Williams may or may not play, and he may play off the bench. I think that's just a bunch of malarkey. Like, I think it was rest the starters, punt the game, and they accidentally stayed in it. And like, I think in a closer game, I think Robert Williams in there is the plan with your offensive juggernauts like Tatum, whatever. But what a frustrating quote, right? If Williams can't go, Muscala played a lot of minutes yesterday. He's out. it seems ambitious to expect Blake Griffin to be rejuvenated, right, on a back-to-back with the minutes he put in yesterday. So you might get one of those Horford at the 5, Tatum at the 4, Grant Williams in the mix, you know what I mean? So it could get a little funky, but the Celtics are massive favorites, and this might be one of the largest night-to-night spreads for a team, right? Going in at 9.5, 10-point dogs, and then the very next night as double-digit favorites. It's pretty wild. The Pistons are going to be a team that I'm not that enthralled with. I don't get many guys over 30 minutes, and the guys that I do on the grand scheme of this slate aren't projected out as big opportunities. If they got to 30, cool, but the 30 is not going to mean a whole lot on a 10-game slate. So I do think we can expedite our process here, save some time. And then on the Celtics, we're just kind of waiting on the news to shake out for guys like Robert Williams. Now with Tatum back, though, we do get a couple of fresh legs. So even though it is a back-to-back, it's not for some of these guys. It's fresh leg Tatum without Jaylen Brown and Derek White, who played a ton of minutes last night. This is a good spot for Tatum to go nuclear. We're just kind of gonna have to play with the spread, I guess. So I guess I'll ask you guys, what are you thinking? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with this game? Are we expecting Tatum to be a slate leader? And Marcus Smart's back anyway, so Derek White at 7K is just not even a thought. Tatum came in as my third highest raw fantasy scorer behind Jokic and Luka. So it is a matter of this game staying close, but Tatum's in a massive spot. 30.5 points per game this season. Do we get like 29.5 as this freaking total? Oh, no, we're still at first half. See Muscala. Yeah, I got Muscala out. He going nuclear. 31 points for the market. 50.5 fantasy points for the fantasy score. So I will almost never take a 30-point prop unless it's like too low for a guy like Damian Lillard. I think 31 and a 12-point spread is something that I won't touch. Is there anything on Tatum like that? I don't shop on the top shelf for props. We can see if there's value, but the 12.5 point spread, 31.5. There's juice on the under, a little bit of juice on the under in some spots. So, I think the spread will be enough for me to just attack this game for DFS and nothing more, nothing less. I was thinking white unders for points today. Do you not think the market's corrected for that? I haven't looked. I'm just wondering. So the PRA is 43.5 over, and they're 44.5. So the market, so the line, I guess they've already moved. They've either already moved or already high. So there's not really much there for the Celtics. Derek White, one last look. Derek White's at 18.5 points, 27.5 PRA. That seems a little high. If we've got Smart back, Tatum on a back-to-back, maybe a little banged up, Brogdon in the mix. Let's see. Does that seem high to you guys? Derek White. I have him for 23 PRA. Like, that's a pretty noticeable discrepancy for my projections to theirs. What do you guys think? Do you think we take the under on the PRA? We just throw a blanket on the bigger number, 27.5, and a potential blowout? I'm thinking under, unless he's just straight up the new Jaylen Brown. Do we have Derek White props? I don't think we get PRA over here. Let's look at White PRA. So under's got some steam in some markets. So I would take the under. In some spots, it's already moved to 26. So we'll go under Derek White PRA. 40, what is it, like 40 something minutes last night. Stayed late to go to the doctor. It's a 12.5 point spread. Marcus Smart's back. He's probably not going to take 20 shot attempts here, right? I don't know. Maybe he has been scoring like without Jaylen Brown with Tatum. It's not like Marcus Smart's going to come in and take 20 shots right off the rip. But I am thinking it's a more modest overall night. So I'm leaning the under. I don't know that becomes a core play, but my projection definitely, a 4-point discrepancy in my PRA projection versus the market would be enough for me to look that way. Seeing Giddey get 28 minutes in close games. Man, those tank teams, bro. Tank teams are rough. What's up, Gray Kid? Andrew Martinez, Austin. I hate Austin. You like sparkling water? No, I do not. Boosted. Bro, I have this thing on my desk. This is dog water, bro. It's literally like this full. I don't know. Somebody was telling me, it was like, yo, bubbly is the move, bro. Tastes just like soda. It does not. It does not. It tastes like dog foam vomit mixed with carbonation. It's not what you want. Heat at the Brooklyn Nets. Projects 25 for the Heat. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Jimmy G, Buckets, Bam Adebayo taking on Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, DFS, and Nick Claxton. 211.5 total, 1 point spread. We're going to save some time here. This game is borderline a closeout game. It is something like without Tyler Hero, without Kyle Lowry. We look at, the Butlers of the world, the Adebayos, because their permanent usage is high enough. But from a pace perspective, from a total perspective, if I get none of this game, I'm not going to lose sleep on a 10 gamer. But I understand if you want to get there. I'm getting like okay projections on Jimmy and Adebayo, but like nothing that I feel like I have to move the earth to get to. If I were to like start flirting with some unders, whatever. But it just seems like a very volatile spot. So on the net side, 7,400 for Dinwiddie. Mikal Bridges is 6,200. I think the minutes for those two and their involvement, their usage is enough to have some loose interest. But again, nothing here becomes a tier 1. Probably nothing becomes a tier 2 just because of the pace and the spread. And we're still kind of looking for the identity of the Brooklyn Nets. I think they look like a strong defense. And the offense is going to be volatile based on a couple of guys. And that's just kind of my read. Even the Cam Thomases of the world, like when his on nights are on, he's massive. But when his off nights are on, it's rough. So is Dinwiddie going to be the highest field goal attempts in the starting lineup guy? And Claxton can score, but this is a tough matchup for 1, points in the paint, and 2, just generally defensive stylings of Bam Adebayo or some I don't target. So it's a rough spot for him too. So like it's Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas for 3. And the Miami Heat are kind of like a funnel defense. You look at opposing team 3-point frequency. The Heat, opposing teams are taking the second amount of percentage. How to explain it? 43% of shot attempts are from 3, which is the second most in basketball. So maybe like if we had to get here for props, we're looking for a 3-point shooter. But I mean, who's that? Is it Dinwiddie? On the season, Dinwiddie's averaging 6.5 3-point attempts per game. Royce O'Neal's at 5.6. That's actually, I didn't expect that. So like we'll take a quick glance, but I don't want to spend too much time on this game, just to see if there's an opportunity. So we'd be looking for maybe Dinwiddie 2.5 threes, or would be the line that I would expect, and that's not offered. Yeah, that's not offered. So I don't know. I don't see any 3-pointers offered. So I think for the prop streets, I end up just staying away from it. If it opens up later, maybe. But even then, like, I don't think that's something, I don't know, the market got on Dinwiddie. Usually 2.5 is the fair market line for anyone we expect. But maybe his average is so low, maybe it is 1.5. No, it's 2.5 plus money with Steam on the under. So we're not touching this game for props. and maybe some shares of like Butler at a bio for DFS, but no prioritas. Is it too risky doing Joel unders points versus Cleveland? Yeah. So, like, speaking of Adebayo, like, the other day I was on Jokic unders, road game, Adebayo, blah, blah, blah. Like, the high usage studs, especially the prove a point guys, I don't do it. But if there are guys to do it, like, Embiid's always going to be top shelf price, right? So 30.5 points against one of the toughest matchups for centers, sure. But Embiid's just like a different level, so it's not going to be a comfortable sweat. Usually when I do want to take unders on guys like that, I look for the biggest number, which is usually PRA. So 44.5 PRA is the line that they've got. What's the fair market? By the way, Mike, thank you for the sub. I hope you're doing great. Mike. Guess what day it is? Almost typed Mike. So 44.5. There's actually, so it was at 45.5 and it went down to 44. So people were with you on the under there. The Mountain Valley Green bottle water is gas. I have to check that out. This bubbly stuff is rough. Like, it doesn't taste bad. It just like tastes like nothing, which is not good. Like, I just drink water for all that, you know? They're supposed to be like strawberry. Anyway, let's go Cavs and Sixers. Project 35 for the Cavs. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, taking on James Harden, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid, 216.5 total, 1.5 point spread. So much like the Nets game, low pace, low total, 98 on the pace rating for the 76ers, 96 on the Cavs. Cavs and the Mavericks been trading places on the slowest paced team in basketball. I think with Kyrie now, maybe it is going to be the Cavs going forward. Barely, but right now it is. So we don't expect many implied possessions here, which means probably not a ton of implied points and not a lot of spots we want to attack. I do think the pricing... Ethan, thank you for the sub. Hope you're doing good. AK on Garland. We saw Donovan Mitchell finally have a breakout game. Was it last outing? Kind of like that Hawks versus Knicks as a game stack. I don't mind that one. Like, Hawks games can break out. It was the Heat Nets game that I wasn't that privy to. Big game from Donovan Mitchell the other night. 6 for 13 from behind the arc. 26 shot attempts against the worst defense in basketball. So it took the worst defense in basketball for Donovan Mitchell to wake up. But even then, it wasn't like a insanely efficient night. But still good night nonetheless. Curtain call against the Sixers. The Cavs are favored? Good for them. Good for them. Is that holding up still? Let me refresh. Hold up, baby. Matchups. What is that, Chris? Free throw. Oh, Jay, I like that. I like that. That's interesting. Against two physical centers. What would his free throw line be? Like 7.5, 8.5? 8.5. Boom. That's a lot of sweat, but it makes sense. Makes sense, but I guess at the same time, like, I don't know. What's the market? Maybe that was one of those. Oh, we don't have free throw props from a fair market, do we? I guess that's more of a fringe. At least not on OddsShopper. I don't mind that though, because I can see him be one of those, 10, 15 free throw attempt games against a physical front court. Cavs are way better at home. The spread is goofy. It is interesting. I just feel like the Sixers would just be, if nothing. Oh, they are okay. So I have Philly now as a 1-point favorite. Now, did this move or did I just type it wrong from the get-go? Let's see. Or was it one of those things where they weren't sure if Embiid would play? I guess we won't see the... What site gives us the opening line? Oh, no, okay. So some sites do have the Cavs favored, and then some sites pick them, and then some sites Sixers favored. So anywhere you look at, might have some arbitrage opportunities somewhere, depending on how these lines are holding up. I mean, look at this. Like, Cavs are 2.5-point favorites at Sports Illustrated Sportsbook, and then 1.5-point favorites for the Sixers on like BetMGM. So like, there's a lot of market discrepancy place to place. So yeah, maybe an arbitrage spot if the price is right. Was Sixers 2.5 yesterday? Band's free throw made seems hecka low at 4. We out here sweating free throws, guys. 4. Decent usage, physical defenders, no hero. We expect his usage to be close to like, what, 28%? Yeah, there's some push potential there too, right? Like if it was 3.5, we'd be running to it. So I don't hate that. Chat, you guys want to do me a favor? Hit that thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Get to 100. That'd be great. 270 of like the coolest cats on YouTube vibing with us right now. I appreciate every one of you. I do. From DFS, I guess Embiid and Harden are in the mix here. Now, Embiid usually comes in as one of the highest raw point scorers. He's top 4 pre-flop. In a 1-to-1, like his price is $100 more than Tatum. I think today, actually, I don't know. Tatum's dealing with the spread too, though. So, I mean, a competitive game seems counterintuitive to not go with the 35% usage guy, right? He's gonna. It might be a scratch and claw, but he can get there nonetheless. So I don't know. That's an interesting 1v1. If you just had a util spot with 11.3, are you taking Embiid or Tatum? I don't think there's a wrong answer. I'm just curious. What's the ownership difference? I imagine Tatum's gonna be way higher owned. Let's see, Tatum, Embiid. Tatum's like twice the ownership on Embiid at last glance, but it's neither one of them are in double digits, so it's not that bad. Feels like a maxi spot. Yeah, I think for this game, I would just attack it from DFS standpoint. Sometimes I'll get behind a Garland assist prop. I saw Harden assist was getting juiced down last night. I think at one point it was like 10.5, 10. That was before I went to sleep at 7 in the morning. So it's at 10. So it went from 10.5 to 10. I think that's fair. And what about Garland? 7.5 assists. How's that looking lately? Garland. All right. So in the month of February, Darius Garland has a 31% assist rate. Huh. That seems like a low number. I mean, again, it's a slow pace, so I don't want to get too overzealous here. But 30% is a good number. And like, even if we put some more sample on that, like I think it's fine. We'll do Donovan Mitchell on the court with him, right? I do think the pace and the total, the defense, blah blah blah, like it's enough to actually win up. So let's go to since the beginning of the season. Or there we go. October. What's up, Dave? Clax loves the foul. That's true. 34%. Man, that Garland assist pro. I guess I would feel better if Rubio's out, you know. But even then, like, is that enough to steer clear? Let's go Cleveland. There's no blurb. I just gotta open his name, huh? Ivy assist got bumped down to 4.5. I like that number if you're gonna go there, but I'm I'm pretty selective on the big slates. Questionable. He wasn't at shoot around, so that's a good sign. So, what's the market thinking? Got that feeling in my bad knee. Anybody else with me on Garland assist? I feel like BetMGM, little vig on the over. What is this? I don't know what site that is. 121 for Caesars. So it looks like there's enough interest in the over here that on a PrizePicks card there's value in 7.5. So I'm kind of with it. One last look at projections, and we'll sweep this in a minute. And I think Rubio's status will, a couple minutes of help. Of course, I have him at under. I'm thinking over, man. I'm thinking 8+ assists. I think we're going Garland, or I'll add it to the list and we'll go from there. San Antonio game got lopsided. That's that last 5 discount. I added to the deeper leans. Darius Garland over 7.5 assists. But I mean, I'm gonna like chop this up and have like a more solidified 5 or 6 that I'm going crazy with. But these are just ideas as we're going game by game. All right, let's move on. Rockets at the Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Rockets. Jalen Green, Jayshawn Tate, Kenyon Martin, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun taking on SGA, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, maybe, who knows. 234 total. The Thunder, a 10-point favorite. Just asinine stuff here. The Rockets and the Thunder have met at least twice, maybe 3 times, I feel like, in the last month. And Jalen Green's been back. So one of the things that I have noticed with Sengun is the last 2 games his assists went down, but these are back-to-back horrendous matchups. You know what I'm saying? So maybe strength of schedule. And those were 2 nights that admittedly I shied away from. I guess I'll ask you guys this. 1, do you believe in the spread? I do think the Thunder, especially with Lou Dort back, like they've been better than perception all year. One of the best teams against the spread. Probably one of the most underrated team. Like if we look at the team metrics chart and go to like offensive rating, the Thunder are perfectly average, right? We think of the Thunder generally as like one of the worst teams in basketball, but that really hasn't been the case. They've been perfectly average offensively, above average defensively, somehow have a positive net rating. Like, yeah. Meanwhile, the Rockets have been pretty atrocious all year, but they've been kind of banged up. Rockets have the 2nd worst net rating, so I don't know. I do, but I look at these names and I feel like, all right, there's enough to compete and give us 4 quarters. Because if we get 4 quarters of this game, which is just crazy that we're discussing 4 quarters of Thunder basketball in the blowout sense, SGA enters the chat, right? Like, it's one of the guys that can have 30+ real points. And then I want to get some subs, AK Sengun. We know the ceiling on that's pretty great. And then Jalen Green has a shot to overperform a sub 7K price point on DraftKings. So probably from a DFS standpoint, I'm definitely attacking some spots here. From a prop standpoint, Sengun assist has been the thing for me. I want to look up, has his assist been negatively impacted with Eric Gordon out or traded? Because I'm thinking I'm going back to the well on Sengun assists, and I'll chalk it up to strength of schedule not going his way. But I'm open. This is an open discussion here, guys. I would love to know your thoughts on what you're doing or want to do with this game. What are you thinking about the props here? So let's put KPJ off the court. Let's put Eric Gordon off the court. And since the beginning of the season, right? Şengün is at... That can't be right. Really? Eric Gordon does that? Şengün went to a 19.5% assist rate. And remember, he was at like 25. Dude, that's crazy. He went from a 32% assist rate, sharing the court with Green and Gordon, and then you took Gordon off, and he lost over 10% of facilitation. Who else is doing that? That's kind of wild. I mean, I know the minutes aren't much, but like that's kind of crazy. So let's look at that. Like again, the Sixers, Heat, maybe strength of schedule is rough, right? And maybe we start regressing positively. Are they just... Here, let me just do this instead. That's one game. It's yeah. I want to see if like I don't know. Let's open the last couple. Sacramento, he got there, right? 11 assists, 7 assists. Let's see if the assists went anywhere or just like were they just outclassed? Yeah, like nobody was getting assists. Jabari Smith had 2, Şengün only had 1, Jalen Green 4, KJ 2, Jay Sean 1, and then Miami Adebayo, tough defender. Oh, KJ 3. Is Kenyon Martin? Is Kenyon Martin the problem? Like if he's starting over Eric Gordon? Is that the correlation here? So let's put Martin on the court. Let's go. I'm gonna leave Eric Gordon's minutes in the blender. No, it's not. I don't know, chat. I think it is like fun with short sample size, right? I don't want to overreact. I also don't want to underreact. What's the field thinking? So Steam's on the under at 5.5. Like that's gonna move down. So if you guys are thinking it's a sample size thing, it is already down 5. I don't know, man. Quality, the lack of quality catch and shooters. That's fair. That's very fair. Can you look at potential assists for Şengün with those guys off? Yeah. Houston rotations have been geared to lose all year. What up, Absolute? What up, Jazzy? What up, David? What up, Kevin? The value on Şengün was this morning. Got him at 31.5 PRAs, 5.5 assists, juiced under. Yeah. So I mean, if you got him this morning, oh, the PRA went up, but his assist went down. Is that what you're saying? I want to play some Şengün, by the way. Like for DFS, absolutely. Sub 8K, I'm in. So 32.5 is getting down to 31.5. So I mean, if you're on Şengün, overs, the value might be yet to come. All right. Well, I'm playing it for DFS. Also, so Şengün or Jalen Green. Points, right? It's the Lou Dort, the torture chamber, staring anybody clear of some Jalen Green. 20 plus shot attempts here. What would be, I guess, at a point prop? 18.5, 19.5. $23.5. God dang. Yeah, I was way under on that. That's probably not something I want to get near. Maybe if it opened up for threes, He took 15 free throws against Philly, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, he's not shooting threes with any type of efficiency either. All right. This is a DFS only spot for me on the Rocket side. SGA might be fun for fantasy and for real points, but it's going to be marked through the roof. So we'll move on. I appreciate that, Jazzy. I can't play Şengün. I like to show him if he plays. Well, yeah, Dave, if you don't play him, then we could play him then. Jazz at the Grizzlies. Project 75 for the Jazz. Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Marketing, Kelly Olynyk, Walker, Kessler, Ranger up against Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Xavier Tillman. We got 239 total. We got another fat total here, but also another fat spread. Giggity for the home team, Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies fast pace, strong defense. Usually fast pace is not correlated with the best defense, but that's not the case for the Grizzlies. Grizzlies have a top 5 pace and a top 3 defensive rating, and have been without Steven Adams for a couple games. I think they're the best defense with Steven Adams. So, not going to want to pick on that with a lot, but I would say usage per minute per price. Colin Sexton maybe has a little wiggle room to get behind. Jordan Clarkson on FanDuel. Marketing on FanDuel. I could get behind some of these guys, but all these guys are going to be tier 3 shots in the dark. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of Talen Horton-Tucker. And then on the Grizzlies side, they're kind of just fully healthy. So I don't have a strong lean here in a 10-point spread. Like Ja Morant's fun to click, but at that price point, with that spread, there's plenty of pivots here. So this might be a fade game for me altogether. Do you guys have any opposing views? On the season, the Utah Jazz have been one of the leakiest teams at points in the paint. Ja Morant scores over half of his points in the paint, so that would spook me on some unders. Dude, almost 15 points in the paint per game for Ja Morant. That's that's kind of crazy for a point guard. So in 2023, so like, and Walker Kessler, who's a massive. So this is interesting. This is like unstoppable force and movable object, because I do believe the Grizzlies are typically high in blocks allowed. Yeah, Grizzlies 5.3 blocks allowed per game, and that's probably correlated with Ja driving to the rack. And we know Walker Kessler's like the highest block per minute guy, 2 blocks per game. So unstoppable force and movable object. What happens? Do those block attempts turn into fouls? And do we have like value on free throws for Ja? 6 free throws? Or do we have value on like Walker Kessler blocks? You know what I mean? 2.5 blocks and steals is his line. I understand both sides. I do. Just put it out there. I'm not gonna take action on that for props, but it is a thought. Did I miss any subs, by the way? No, I didn't. Ethan. Shout out to Ethan. Check out Triple J block steal prop. You like that? What is it? 2.5? Jaren Jackson. Oh, we got 2 of the block. I think, isn't Walker Kessler and Jaren Jackson like 1 and 2 in the Defensive Player of the Year? Or is it in the blocks category, not Defensive Player of the Year, right? So blocks and steals. 4? Good Lord. That's crazy, bro. This man's blocks and steal column looks like a assist column. I mean, I could never actually bet that, like, for that. Essentially, you need him to hit 5 blocks or steals to hit. Like, he absolutely could. But this is like, I would be irresponsible to get behind that, but that's incredible. Is this block line 2.5? It's 3.5? Okay, Steam's on the under, so it's not that insane. That's incredible. He is at home, right? Scorers at home for him. What's Walker Kessler at? Walker is at 1.5. Steam in the over. All right. I can't touch. If you guys want to touch that, then go for it. I can't touch that. That's crazy. That's wild. It's plus EV at 4. It's so crazy to say 4 blocks is plus EV. I don't like, yeah, it did move. No, it's not 4. It's 4. Oh, it's 4.5 blocks and steals is what you're saying, the combo. Okay. What up, king of all trades here? Hope you're doing all right. I've seen him get 4 1/4 before. Yeah, like the thought of him getting it's not crazy, but that's not something I can play or prop bet. I'll take shots on him in DFS, but that's pretty crazy. I mean, good for him. He's averaging over 3 blocks per game as is, right? So there's a reason it's that high. I'm not gonna do much else from this. This is like a bunch of tier 3 DFS stuff for me. Mavs at the Nuggets, project 75 for the Mavs. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Dwight Powell taking on Jamal Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. We got a 234 total, 4.5 point spread for the home team, Denver Nuggets. Mavs can't seem to win with Luka and Kyrie. Going to one of the toughest spots on the schedule here, Denver at home. Let's get caught up on the status side of the Dallas Mavericks. So Kyrie's probable, Reggie's probable, and then Denver we got Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon continue to be questionable. Murray right knee inflammation, Aaron Gordon left rib contusion. So remember what I was saying, and these two have been out for a couple games now. With this being the All-Star break, and I don't know that the Nuggets play tomorrow. Nuggets, let's go schedule. A lot of teams, this is their last game before the All-Star break. The Nuggets do play tomorrow. Yeah, the Nuggets play the Cavs tomorrow. Oof. With some of these teams being so close to the All-Star break, and Denver's one of those teams, they're chilling, right? As far as making the playoffs. Some of these guys, we may not just like hold our breath for them to play. So just something to keep in mind. Matchup-wise, you know, Jokic is coming in as one of the highest raw projections on the slate. The value opportunities on a 10-game slate tend to open up as the day progresses on if we don't already have enough. And Jokic is second for me in fantasy points. So I'm going to like Jokic quite a bit. I've been kind of not playing Luka and Kyrie at these prices together. I know they went to overtime 2 games ago, and Kyrie kind of got there, and he had like 9 fantasy points in overtime, 40 and 42. Did they go to overtime last game too? Or did he just actually play 40 minutes? It does. Oh, look, it's better now. I bet you think that. Wait, is that the right one? No, this is the one. Do you know the way? No, that was just in regulation. I mean, 40 minutes of Kyrie Irving on the court is kind of hard to pass up, I guess. Him and Luka played 36. Kyrie. Bro, Kyrie did what? Yo, Kyrie had 26 points in the 4th quarter. Is that real? Good Lord. That's crazy. So I've been staying away at these prices. But if they're going to play those type of minutes, then I wouldn't talk you off of it. It just seems unsettling for me. So I'm kind of probably just going to lean Jokic, and that type of money I'll just put elsewhere and hope that, you know, the top ceiling scores are pretty competitive, right? Like if Luka doesn't outscore Jokic by a mile, I don't know. Let's just put them on the court together and just see the short sample size so I don't go with bad gut calls, you know? So let's go Luka and Kyrie on the court together. And by the way, I have Tim Hardaway out, right? We got... What? No. That's not possible, right? That's not possible. Chat, did you guys see that? I guess it's from this game. The Pelicans? No, it's not. What even is that? How did that even happen? That's not possible, right? It says 2.47 fantasy points per minute and 50. That's not possible. That's got to be wrong. Luka Doncic, DraftKings point per minute with Kyrie Irving. this season. 1.34. All right, that seems way more realistic. I don't know how this happened, but this is not true. Something's wrong. 76% assist rate, 123%, 30% of total rebound opportunities. Does any of this sound right? A 57% usage rate? I feel like there might be an error here, unless I'm just okay. What up, Gridiron? I appreciate you. C. Bennett, Hardaway's out. Yeah, I literally have Hardaway for 0 minutes. I just had a brain fart and typed his name. I'll fix it. It's because Jokic effed up Morris twin. Yeah. What's the gun play of the day? I don't have a play of the day, but so far we've done some research. Some of these lines have already moved since we've talked about it. Melo over 9.5 assists, Vooch over 21.5. I'm sure that's probably 22 by now. Dosunmu over 21 fantasy points. Vooch, we'll take a shot at him getting a free throw. Halliburton over 9.5. The market disagrees with me there, so if you agree with me, you might get that line at 9. So you might hold off on taking that at 9.5, just a better value. Mark Williams 30.5 fantasy points for PrizePicks. Rozier over 21.5 points. Market was steaming over. I think that's already moved to 22. Hayward over 19.5 points and assists. Jalen Brunson 40.5 fantasy points. Capella under 12.5 points. Derek White, kind of a gut play here, to under 27.5 PRA. Garland over 7.5 assists. So far. Yeah, Jokic just got beef with the Morris boys. That started like an international incident where the brothers were like getting tickets to like Heat games and stuff. I don't know. What up, Maliker? Hope you're doing all right. What up, Andy? You're chat 300 plus. Can we get to 100 likes? That's it, man. Get 100 likes. We got this. Pelicans at the Lakers, right? Yeah. Well, we'll play the. Oh, we only have one game left. Wow, we did good, chat. I'm over here thinking I'm late. And we only got one game left, so let's just get all the plugs out the way. Can you guys hit likes while I do plugs? First of all, VIP. I'll only tell you about one VIP. Since the All-Star break starting this week, there's the All-Star to All-Star Pass, which is $300. Gets you locked in to the All-Star break for baseball. That's July 11th. That comes with $100 credit, just Fantasy Cruncher. So it's essentially a $200 pass for what, 5 months. And we do baseball pretty doggone well. And then every single site that I know of that we could bet props, PrizePicks, No House Advantage, Underdog, Thrive Fantasy, any of these sites, those 4 sites namely. If you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they'll double your first deposit up to $100. And when you do that, they show me some love. So if you like these free streams in the afternoons, but you don't want to open your wallet, well, if you want to get a benefit and then you know that I'm getting a benefit, use my code when you sign up. And that's a good enough way to say thank you, right? So a couple links we'll put in chat if you're not on any of those sites. Get your first deposit doubled. That is just horrendous, but yeah. And then for No House, I've been playing on No House a lot lately. You guys might not be too familiar with the versus the house stuff. It does feel like they don't offer as much like different things to bet on as like PrizePicks does, and it also doesn't. It feels like their boards don't open up as much until like right before. But I've been finding some decent lines. So since the Super Bowl, I've had pretty profitable 3 nights, I guess you would say. So Super Bowl Sunday, we took advantage of the Patrick Mahomes thing. Actually, I think I tailed Alex on this. Alex threw that out there, so I don't want to take credit for that, but profitable. Then on Monday, we hit for $1,000 on a 5-pick, and that was the game stack of Hornets and Charlotte. So we were correlating our cards here. And then we had Michael Porter Jr. over 16.5 with Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray out. So that hit for $1,000. And then last night, we hit for 500 with the Derek White over threes, which we ran good on that. He hit that in overtime. Robert Williams did not start, so we took his under. Devin Booker over. I got a little lucky because I thought that he would be off a minutes restriction when I placed this bet. But he just ran really well in a good matchup, fast pace. Chris Paul just went nuclear with assists. And then Kevin Looney He ended up with like 14, but he cleared it in the third quarter, so we took the screenshot. So I've been, and they've cashed out. So if you're worried about these sites you haven't played on cashing out, I've already been paid by No House for some of this stuff. So check that out, man. Go spread the action out, and then you can line shop just like we do with the sports books, right? What up, Mamba? Hey, man, trying to get you super chat money and won't let me get you that bag. Dang, that's crazy. You won 100K the other night? Wow, dude, that's crazy, Mamba. Congrats, dude. That is freaking life-changing, bro. I'm proud of you. Good stuff, man. Love the energy and I appreciate that, Grid. So the goal, we try to do 2 shows, but it's just been bleeding together. I thought that we would have trouble serving 2 audiences. Like, some of you guys are here for props, some of you guys for DFS. But it seems like there's enough overlap. Like, you guys don't seem to be complaining or leaving. Like, our numbers are still doing well. So, like, if you guys are cool with the double dipping, like, it all correlates well for research. So, you know. Take for the advice. Should have took first in both, but Dame sat out. Oh, okay. So, you won first and fifth. Oh, but the 5th place was in the 100K. Okay. Hey, that's huge, man. I appreciate that. Or I appreciate the thought. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Dame sat out the 4th. Dang. That's crazy. Appreciate that. Yo, who just subbed that I missed? G-Man 89. Thank you so much for the sub. Where are we at on subs now? I think we're crushing it. We're at 8378. Wow, we might get to 8400 by like the All-Star break. That'd be pretty cool. Mamba was the dude who called out Kyrie and projected him for 60 points. Oh, then I almost cost you then. Wait, was that the game that Kyrie, was that the game 60? Was that this Minnesota game where he dropped, what did you say, 26 in the 4th quarter? Wow, dude, that must have been a wild sweat. Like, you probably didn't even think you were in it. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Any love for Alvarado in DFS? Yeah, let's look at this game. I'll get you guys out of here. Pelicans at the Lakers. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, dunk contest participant Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Jonas Valanciunas taking on Dennis Schroeder, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Anthony Davis. 234 total, 4 point spread in favor of the Lakers. So LeBron, one of those names we look at like, is he gonna play for the All-Star break? Understand either way. Questionable left ankle soreness. Darvin Ham says he expects James to play, so his upgrade from out to questionable bodes well. All right. Well, if LeBron plays, 10.3K on FanDuel, 10.8K on DraftKings. Sharing the court. Daniel, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you a lot. I do. Yeah, I guess at those prices, like and with D-Russ in the mix, we kind of have to make some educated guesses on what to do with these guys. I guess in a vacuum, though, the 50-plus fantasy point projections for LBJ, AD, we just play them. I probably make sure we don't overlap LBJ and AD on this slate. And then we probably won't have to wrestle with a lot of ownership, particularly on LeBron, since a lot of people may fear that he's just not even playing. So that's how we attack that. The Pelican side. So McCollum has been not guaranteed to play, right? He was out the other night. So that correlates with the Jose Alvarado question. So let's see. Sprained her ankle is questionable. McCollum did not play in Monday's win over the Thunder. Alvarado. So I guess the answer would be if McCollum's out, yes, there would be interest in Alvarado. But that's not really actionable information from this far out, because this is the last game on the slate by an hour. So there's not really a lot of moves to make if that news isn't definitive. You know what I mean? But what we could probably do is take Brandon Ingram no matter what, because Brandon Ingram at 81, 8,200 is not a bad play no matter which way you slice it, and then it becomes an exponentially better play if McCollum's down. and we could probably get the ins and outs on that. Can't wait for live before long to cast so Greg can answer for himself, telling people to remove Derek White. I mean, I played Derek White, but like I understand the thought of it. And then it's even funnier that Derek White was injured, right? But no, like we didn't expect that game to go the way it did. But it was one of those, if the game stayed competitive, it's because of Derek White. So it's fair, but it's just like ownership versus probability. Like I understand both sides of that. Like when stuff like, I guess a younger, less mature me, when I didn't appreciate the volatility of what we do, would have been like, oh, I can't believe people faded Derek White. Like now you come to a point where you could see processes for both sides, so I don't point and laugh because I'm wrong all the time too. But Greg is like one of the smartest guys in the industry, so I would never go after him. Let's see. 35% usage on Brandon Ingram when he's not on the court when we'll call him in Zion. So that's just incredible usage, 1.3 fantasy point per minute. So Ingram looks like somebody I would tee up no matter what. And then we'd be kind of hoping McCollum's out because then it just becomes that much better. But yeah, we're in a good spot with Ingram at this price. So I'm in on that. That's what we got. All right, you guys got anything else for me? Questions, comments, concerns? I don't know. I don't know that. I don't want to guarantee a stream tomorrow. It's a 3-game yuck slate. It's also like the last slate before the All-Star break. 6:30, 7, 9. So I don't know. Maybe. This is a late. Maybe we'll do a quickie. But don't hold me to it. We'll see. All right, what you guys got? Oh, do I got some time. I don't need to run, but do want to get you guys out of here if you guys are going to go catch the deeper dive. I will be in the rundfs.com pre-lock Discord next couple hours, so you guys can hang out. What up, Chris? Didn't remove him? Good. I hit 300 off of $1 on Monday. Let's go, Jake. Love those. Hey, we hit 100 likes, man. I appreciate you guys. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. But if you had any questions, or if you had suggestions, or you just want to look at somebody, we can do it real quick. If not, we can roll out. Dallas is going to play faster with Unky Drew. Tyler, that's definitely something I'm watching for sure. But Luka Doncic is still really, really slow. But that's certainly one of the, they can't play slower, right? So I do think that, but it's just like, how much faster do they get? Ingram always shows out against the Lakers. Yeah, I'm with it. Hey, chat, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. If you guys miss me over the break, I promise you I'll be live a lot over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/GG_Gundacker. I'll definitely be over there tonight. I'm enjoying the new update. You might see me rage. I'm laid back Cadillac Jack on this stream, but on that stream, I'm a boomer trying to keep up with the young guns. So if you want to hang out, man, sweat some games, I'll be there over the next couple of days more than usual. So I appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate you making part of my day. Be part of your day. Tell somebody out there you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.